Welcome back. We've just done a short news review of the day's headlines. I want to delve into youth and politics to help us talk about that. We have Gideon Keter, who is the Jubilee National Youth Chairman, I believe, and then Osman Siad at the far right is the National Youth Coordinator for Jubilee, and then Muriuki Ndigwa is the National Youth Leader in Wiper. So I guess the first question I'll ask is, most of the time when it comes to elections, campaigns that we've been seeing, if you look at the crowd in any campaign, it is primarily the youth who got there. But my question is, and even in individual parties, what then is the role of the youth? Is the role just to turn up for the campaign? Are they just used as pawns in the overall chess game? Alafu watu wakiingia power, they are forgotten. And what should they do? So what is the role of the youth? I guess I'll start with you.
First of all, if you look at the history of this country, youth have been marginalized when it comes to political participation, and then this changed only when we had a new constitution that compelled every political party to involve the young people. That is setting up as the youth section, women section, or the young section of the youth of the party, and then the mother party. Now this has improved with time, because you find even from the results of campaigns or nomination or the election of party primaries, you find there is a higher number of political young people showing up to elective seats. Initially it was for the old, and the last parliament we had 51 young members of parliament who are under age of 35, and in this coming parliament we will be having more if you look at the statistics. So our main role is no longer to go and put up banners or to go and distribute T-shirts, but it has changed with this season, whereby we've been entrusted to go out there and look also for votes. We've been, you see, there's a lot of dynamic that have come in when it comes to dealing with young people, because we are different segments of youth based on how well educated you are, where you're located, if you're from urban or you're from the rural areas. So our participation has been taken more serious than before, and not only taken serious but also given space to be in the table of decision making. And this trend is continuing to improve with time, and we hope, because you see, young people will care for the future. The middle-aged only care for the realities of the current, and the old is looking back at what happened in the past. So if you look keenly, you find many young people taking this discussion seriously, both in social media, in Twitter, even in participation. When they go to public rallies, they are looking for an answer. They're looking for someone who has a vision they will want to ride with, or they will want to incline themselves with.
The young people, they are energetic, they are flexible, and they can be able to move slightly faster than the rest of the generation. And the role of the youth in political parties, of course there are different perspectives in terms of the setup, depending on different scenarios. If it's professional, we have youths, young people who are actually working, we have youths who are not working. So each of them has different roles. And like I have had a call by one of the presidential candidates, is that they trust the young people to go and bring those people who have not yet voted, because they know them, they have proper network, they can be able to bring those people into voting. So it is now the role of the young people in terms of continuity, with activities of this country. Like you can see, of course, there is the issue of taking after those who are slightly elderly. So the young people, one of the things, of course, that they are entrusted with in political parties is planning, and that's why actually some of us are here, because you have been trusted by our political parties in ensuring that things or other systems are running. But away from that, I'd like to talk about the reason why, like you say, that in most rallies it's the young people who fill those places. Number one, we have systems that do not really propel the young people. They do not really appreciate the young people. For example, if you look at the police or the policeman or even the, our army, they are recruited between the age of 18 and 27. You cannot exceed that because you're a young person. Look at the people who are in the universities. Look at the people who are nurses. Even us, all of us here, I'm sure we are within the youth bracket according to our constitution. But still, if somebody is below 40 or even 42, those people are still regarded to be youthful. But now, these are the disadvantages that these young people will be able to face, because number one, if it's to apply for any job like you've seen, you are required to have at least 10-15 years experience, right? And you realize by the time you are clearing university, the 15 years, you already passed the youth, alright? So you'll find out that most of the young people are into informal employment, like mjengo, kusukuma mkokoteni, kulima, kuangalia ng'ombe za mtu. You'll find that these are the young people. This is because one, although we are and that's why I appreciate Kalonzo Musyoka in his 2007 manifesto when he was running for president, and he said that the high school or secondary education will be free. He also said that the university education will be fairly subsidized, so that the young people can be able to get formal education. But what have we done? If it's higher education loans board, the young people who are into the universities, these are people that the government knows, because it's the government which pays for their school fees, alright, at the university. But now, when these guys are out, they're supposed to pay this loan. Unfortunately, the systems have not provided a way of how these young people can be assisted to repay these loans, so that now these loans can be able to educate some others and recruit more within the universities. Instead, we try to push them to pay. We have not even provided internship or attachments to these people, and yet these are government students, and within the government there are so many opportunities, like for internship, for or even for interns. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
So if we can have systems that are able to absorb these people right from the university, they come into it, they do their practice, then slowly within time they're employed. While they're still young, they'll be able to repay the loans on time, and more youth will be able to get formal education.
Right. Unfortunately,
because actually for me, I was a youth leader for quite some time. So the time of the youth, the word youth, we usually hear most of the times during the elections and over time. But unfortunately, the number actually we hear during election time or campaign times, the youth are 70% of this country, this number of percentage, very high percentage. But after the elections, we usually hear very few percentage in the maybe public sector or private sector. And all that thing is because of lack of honesty, I think, in the leadership. There are two kind of, I think, leadership or political things. You're either a politician forever or a leader forever. Because if you are a leader forever, during the campaigns you are a leader. You nurture others, you promise things, and you act on them. You become real and realistic. Right now, people, when they see youth, maybe we see youth, few who are in the public sector, maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. But the youth are on the ground. Those youth need a way or formal way of putting things together, and at least giving them hope that whoever comes in as a government is giving them life into their livelihood and all those things. For example, I think for the last few governments we had, we are not that old, only 50 years. I think everyone was trying, yes. The Jubilee government has tried also in a big way, because of seeing the youthful leaders that we got on the leadership. And we want that one to go on, and at least now the youth who are on the not only public sector, private sector, but those ones who are doing the casual jobs, we want to create youth who are able to feed themselves, who can go to at least, if you see all those hard work, manual work, the people who are doing this thing are youth. But now to appreciate the youth, that's not actually the thing that actually was not seen yet. So for me, the cry is still there. Only that now it has toned down somehow, but at least the cry is still there. The Jubilee government has done few in a big way, and has also given us hopes which are actually realistic. But we don't want to, when campaigning, we tell youth, look at the rallies. From podium to the farthest end, those are youth. You will not see an old man there or a mom who is sitting there. But because of that now, I think we need leaders who are real and realistic with their promises and acts.
Because of time, I allow you to make your comment and your final comments as well. Then your comments, your final comments, and the same, and then we may pray for Chechen.
You see, youth issues have been raised since 1982 by the late Kivuitu when he was the member for Parliament representing Westlands, because the youth were really coming up and there was no considerations for youth. It is very unfortunate that when Jubilee was appointing directors of different companies and there were no youths, when we raised the red flag that youths have not been considered, I'm sorry to say that a nominated MP representing the youth said, these are not important jobs basically for the youths. Let's wait, there's something better which is coming. And we felt let down as youths, irrespective of whether you're in opposition or you're in government. What binds us together is the issue of being a young person. And until we believe in young people in this country, then, a country that does not believe in its own young people, then the future of that country, sometimes it's not really balanced. I am glad that as somebody at the age of 38 is a president in France, 39 a president of some other places. These are people who are really embracing the youth. So what I can be able to say, the reason why, like my friend said, that the youths are the ones who feel political rallies, any meeting you see there are young people, is because the young people are looking for answers and they really want to hear who is speaking what we want to hear. Not necessarily what we want to hear, but what will give us hope so that we can face tomorrow. That's why you'll find them in rallies, and we believe, that like he said, the young people are looking for leaders. We know the young people are not fools. We know they are wise, and they'll make a wise decision on the 8th of August.
All right, final, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and you have, because of the time is really gone.
I would like to say something about youth in politics. When the elders find you competent, they frustrate you, and then they end up reducing you to idle, and that is a dirty kind of behavior that has been in the political system in Kenya and hindering political continuation. When I talk of political continuation, is where is our space in the future politics of this country if we are frustrated, reduced to idle. Our hope is on these young people who have been elected and in parliament. We are waiting to see what they are going to do when they are in parliament, because we had 51 members of parliament and they tried their level best. We expect now in the next coming government or the next members of parliament and the Senate, they will do more on that, so that we may have continuous political participation of young people in a better manner and an advanced to a future that we want to be to see as a country.
For me, I want to talk to our leaders. We want the leaders from the MCA to the presidency to be honest with the youth, to be real with the youth, because youth are real and they want leaders who are real. To the youth, this is the time of campaign and this is the time of elections. We don't want to be used as a one-time weapon for violence and all those things. We need peace. The country is all yours. It's all over us. So one thing we want to do is we want to harmonize the community in our society, and that's actually what youth need and what leaders need. And for me, we are assured that rest assured that Kenyans right now is actually changed, and the face of the youth is different from the youth that we used to see some years back.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. unfortunately, because of time, we have to put an end to it there. But of course, youth in politics and matters of deliberating and ventilating about affairs that are going on is something that we'll continue to have right on the public issues. So hopefully we can get you back here again. We'd like to say thank you so much for listening to the Wakati Band. We've been having this conversation with Gideon Kiteru, the Jubilee National Youth Leader, Muruki Ndugo is the National Youth Leader for Wiper, and at the end, Osman Siraj is the National Youth Coordinator for Jubilee. We'd like to say thank you so much, of course, on behalf of Freddy Ndimuli, Joe Udenge akiwa nyumbani. Tunasema asante sana. Don't go too far. The hashtag now is Cheche, and T2422 is the SMS line. Over to you, Wakati Band.